You're all welcome to this all-important webinar. By the way, I am Kazim Balogun. From wherever we are, I say good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and I bid all of you a big welcome. Thank you all for being a part of this. According to what we have on the program, the whole thing will last for, let's say, an hour and a half, and we'll try as much as possible to do justice to what we are here for. But let me start with the introduction. I want to introduce those of us that will be doing one thing or the other on the program. As you can see, it's all about African Tourism Board's Ambassadors Dialogue. It's a kind of initiative that we thought will help us to bring together our ambassadors and many of us so that we can discuss the best part for us in navigating forward, within the African Tourism Board. And we will be listening to our special guests and our speakers, the ambassadors. They will be telling us what we all need to know about how they are working to ensure that tourism comes back within their own destination. We are going to look at that, and this is going to be the first edition. We hope, and we are looking forward to having a series of this. So let me start with the introduction. I have here one of our greatest personality in tourism world, in the person of Dr. Taleb. You're highly welcome, sir. I am very, very glad to have you here. You're welcome, sir. And also, our honorable Alain Saint Ange is going to be our chairman for the day. You're highly welcome, sir. And also, our investigator, Mr. Jorge Statement, you're welcome. And having established that, I'm sure we still have some important personalities joining us. But let me just introduce our ambassadors. They will be speaking to us. They will be telling us what we need to know about their various destinations. And I have Ambassador Abigail Orlandi from Nigeria, Ambassador Celestine Ingakutuzi. I'm sorry if I didn't get that right, from Rwanda. Also, I have Michelina Sanchez, Ambassador from Italy, and Ambassador Dean Raymond from Benin Republic. And on the last note, I have Ambassador Linda Fernando, all the way from Mozambique. So they'll be telling us what we need to know about how they are recovering in tourism-wise. But before you listen to them, let me invite our honorable chairman, indefatigable Mr. Nkube, to give us the opening remark. Honorable Nkube, over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Much appreciated as we welcome you. And let me take the liberty of welcoming our patron, Dr. Taleb, who has been very instrumental, who is actually instrumental within the tourism space. Thank you so much, Honorable, for joining us. It's really a pleasure and a blessing to have you in our presence as we do impact the energy you have. And our president, Alain St. Ange, we want to welcome you, sir. Thank you so much. We have noted you've been working so hard behind the scene, and we are actually walking on your footsteps. And Mr. Yegen, we really appreciate, and you have done so much. You are still doing a lot within the tourism space so that we remain relevant and giving us hope that it is a dark cloud that will surely pass by. And also to all our ambassadors across the globe, it's really a pleasure to have all of us to converge and have this discussion, and all our guests from all over the world. I just want to say you are welcome. Thank you so much as we join hands. As I indicated briefly, colleagues, that in the darkest hour, that is when you can actually see the stars shining from the sky, and the admiration, of course, of the Milky Way that mesmerizes the beholder. You can only indulge yourself seeing those beauties during the darkest hour. So it brings me great joy that the rest of you, honorable members, you took advantage during the uncertainty of the direction of the African Tourism Board. You did not dwell on your energy, your attention on the darkest hour of our movement, but you took advantage of beholding what this organization could be, irrespective. You beheld the beauty.
It was cold in the morning.
And what lies beyond the darkest hour. You saw stars of success, you saw stars of growth, and you saw the beauty of the Milky Way that gave you hope and courage to carry on. We have done more than what was done in the glory days of the African Tourism Board. As we expand, on opportunities for marketing, for public relations, for investments, for branding, for promoting destinations, our primary objective and function as individuals, as consortiums, as African Tourism Board family, as African tourism friends, it is to build brand awareness, which is essential to build brand equity, to help our consumers across the world, across the globe, to become more familiar and knowledgeable with our African experience. It is therefore not by accident that we sacrificed our time, we sacrificed our resources, we sacrificed our energy to brand ourselves in line with the objectives of this great organization. May I be allowed to convey my deepest gratitude to our champions who have worked hard behind the scenes to make this organization relevant and standing till today. We appreciate your vision. We appreciate your unwavering efforts. We appreciate your sacrifices. You have done it in Africa, for Africa. You have done it for yourselves. You have done it for our communities. You have done it for the tourism global community. Therefore, I would want to say thank you so much. Now is the time where we need to roll our sleeves and start moving. The vehicle is moving. I want to invite all of us to join hands and build a beautiful global world as we are activating our travel sector, as we are activating our economies. Each and every one of us plays a pivotal role. So therefore, I plead with all of us to work together, to stand together as a family to make things happen. Thank you so much, Program Director.
Thank you so much, our indefatigable chairman. That was a brilliant speech. It was inspiring. anytime, any day. You are always a delight to listen to. Thank you so much, sir. Without much ado, let's get to the next speaker. We want to listen to another remark from our special guest. And he is the chairman of this occasion, like I mentioned. He is no other than our honorable Helen Saint Ange. He is the president of African Tourism Board. Sir, you have the floor. Kindly let us know what you have for us tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And it is much appreciated again for us to rally, firstly, Africa together, but also to rally friends of tourism to come together in this moment when the world is looking at what happens post-COVID. We've often heard, we are the world, we are the oceans. Tonight, as we have this first dialogue with our newly appointed tourism ambassadors for the ATB, we can happily say, we are tourism. We are tourism, and together, we must make tourism work for Africa. The 54 states must see themselves benefiting from this key industry, this vital industry for Africa. So as we say we are tourism, it is important for us to realize that when we are talking as us being tourism, we are not saying we have in Africa the best safaris, or we have in Indonesia, where I was working recently, we have the best cultural diversity, or if you talk about the lives under the sea, that we have the best Great Barrier Reef in Australia. What we have to say, we have the best investments, and they are in tourism, and that together we must make this investment work. How to make it work is the comment that tonight should come out from the dialogue. How do we make tourism work for the benefit of each and every African and each and everyone involved in that key and vital industry? Today, this first dialogue that we launched with our tourism ambassadors, 4 of them initially, but it will be regular. And as our pool of ambassadors have grown and are growing daily, it is important to realize, what do we want out of our tourism ambassadors? Why are we naming them? Why are they being appointed? And why are they ambassadors of the African Tourism Board? Tourism cannot work from up downwards. It must work from down going upwards. This is why we need foot soldiers. We need people on the ground. We need people that know their respective countries. We need people that know how to touch the press in their respective countries, that have a dialogue with their own airlines in the area where they reside, that have international chains of hotels or African chains of hotels that they are corresponding with. We must have these foot soldiers that are dedicated to tourism and to Africa. We must open a new dialogue. We cannot sit in isolation and hope that the world will continue to come to us. It will not. The barriers have all been broken. We need to now work as one. Work as one to ensure that every investment that has gone into the world of tourism finds the returns, the due returns that is needed. But how do we move to make this happen? COVID-19 is here to stay. It started with one variant, it's moved to another one, it's moved to a third one, now there's a fourth one, each one more deadly than the last one. So when we know that this dilemma is around, we are being encouraged, and I personally would encourage everybody, let us take the vaccines. Yes, they are for 6 months, you will need a booster, and this is now very clear. But until we are all safe and secure for the period that we are alive, let us work together to ensure that we are protecting ourselves, protecting our families, protecting our community, protecting our country, and finally protecting the industry that we all believe in. But when we say that COVID-19 is here to stay, we must also understand the health regulations of each country, that social distancing is a must, that we must change the way we've done things in the past and look at the new world with a new eye and a new optic. So to get back to our tourism ambassadors, to get back to you, honorable members who have now been appointed as African Tourism Board ambassadors, we rely on you. We rely on you in the four corners of the world to ensure that African Tourism Board is seen, is known, is respected, and becomes that catalyst to move the 54 states of Africa to work together with us all. African Tourism Board is not our chairman, myself, or our patron.
Hello, wow.
It is all of us together in Africa working for this great continent. We must realize that Africa needs its tourism industry. We have all the best key unique selling points in the world to bring tourism to us. And yet, we have barely 6% of world travelers landing in Africa. This is why you will see, as we move forward, that we are bringing tourism ambassadors in the four corners of the world for them to channel business into Africa. Tourism will bring those that are in the agricultural world to benefit more, those that are fishermen to benefit more, those that are in handicraft to benefit more, those that are in import-export to benefit more. So let us concentrate on making tourism work. Tourism is not only the big players. It is everyone who wakes up in the morning and says to himself, we are today going to welcome another visitor to our country, another visitor to our hotel, another visitor in our DMC, or tour operators sending somebody overseas. Let us understand that we need to appreciate tourism. We need to respect tourism as we respect ourselves. Tourism will work for Africa. It is the continent of the future. As Dr. Rifai, the former UN Secretary, UNWTO Secretary General said, Africa is the continent of the future. Yes, it is. It has everything to succeed, but it is us, Africans, that must wake up and say we need our continent to work for the benefit of each and every African. The world can help us. The world can support us, but it is us that needs to make it happen. And Africa must wake up to say that no longer can we force square pegs into round holes and round pegs into square holes. It does not work anymore. Our people will get more demanding. They expect more from their investments. They expect more from having studied to get into a profession where they want to develop the industry for their own country. Let us respect them. Let us work with them. Let us offer them the possibility to enter this great world of tourism. We have done it. We have all appreciated it. And we know the fun of being in the tourism industry. Let us bring more of our people on board. Let us ensure that our people see tourism as this gateway for a better life. Let us ensure that they, like we have done before, see tourism as being the key industry that will bring a better life to their family. Today, the world of tourism needs leadership. It is quite clear. We need people to rally in unity to develop tourism. We need to know what is happening. And when you see world news not talking about the real assets of tourism, we must be sad to realize that one industry that really makes the world move and that the economies of the world get the better chance of being consolidated do not make any space, is not spoken about, and is not heard. This shows that leadership in the world of tourism is still lacking. Today, countries are being put on a red list for COVID. In the past, it was on a different list. Do not go to that country because we feel that it is an area of crisis. You can have Ebola in a village in Africa, in mainland Africa, and the whole of Africa is cast aside. We must be able to write our own narrative. We must be able to tell the world, this is the message from Africa. It is the message that we are echoing. It is the message that we want the world to hear, because this is our message. We are tourism. We are from Africa, and we respect this great continent, and we want our continent to succeed. The time is coming after the launch today of our ambassadors that we will work to have airline partners, to have hotel partners, to have DMC and tour operator partners. We need to ensure that Africa sees people that believe in Africa working together with us in the 54 states, so that when Africa speaks, it speaks with one voice, and it is understood that we are serious with what we are doing for Africa and by Africa. Not all the ambassadors will be Africans, but they all believe in Africa. They all believe in Africa because they want to see Africa succeed. Some will be in businesses from the four corners of the world, but they are dedicated enough to see that if there is tomorrow a festival, a cultural festival in Eswatini, from the four corners of the world, our ambassadors are looking how to support Eswatini in its adventure, because when we develop culture for Africa, it is one added bonus that we put together for the world to come and see. As the African Tourism Board, we have looked how to offer new and diverse activities to be put on the world stage for tourists to come to Africa to see. We have natural resources, Victoria Falls, for Zimbabwe and Zambia. We have all the safaris possible. All the beaches of the world, the best beaches of the world sit on our coastlines and in our islands. But is it enough to keep us being visible? As the world of tourism reopens, we will know that every country will go fishing in the same pond for the same tourists. So we need to ensure that the 54 states of Africa are seen, and for the world to know that they are willing and ready to welcome visitors. When our tourism industry works, the airlines that partner with us will also be benefiting and working with our own airlines in the different parts of Africa. So we need now to change gear, to be smoother and more intelligent in how we tell the world what we are doing, and what we want to see for Africa. It is not just a conflict that should be making news around the world. It is more, what is Africa seeing and saying to the world? What are we pushing forward that will benefit our millions of Africans, that benefit on the work that the African Tourism Board, the governments of each of our 54 states are doing for Africa? Let us today, as we rally to say welcome to our the African Tourism Board ambassadors, let us wish them well. Let us tell them we believe in you. We believe in you because you are the foot soldiers of the African Tourism Board. And with you, we will go far. Thank you very much, and have a good deliberation tonight. Thank you.
Oh, that was a great speech from our indefatigable President, thank you so much. You know, I am sure the speech was something else. You know, you touched so many areas where people would like to have a better understanding about. That was great, sir. We appreciate that speech. Now, let me now go straight to our tireless, very, very important person in our midst. You know, I was really, really not expecting him, but truly when I saw him, I felt real, real great. He needs to give us some words so that we can tap from the knowledge. So it's my pleasure to call on our Honorable Dr. Talib. Sir, kindly give us some words of encouragement so that we can feel your presence here, sir.
Kazim, thank you so much, Kazim. You're too kind to me. Everybody's been too kind to me. But this is Africa. Africa is the future without doubt. I am very, very encouraged by what I see today. Today we're meeting to inaugurate a new team of ambassadors. These ambassadors are lucky to be serving Africa. Africa is the future without doubt. I believe in that full-heartedly. I was probably born with the wrong colored skin, like many of us do, many ambassadors here are. But we all are Africans at heart. After all, we all came out of Africa. That's the fact. We all came out of East Africa. That's the story of mankind. We changed colors, we changed nature, we changed countries, we changed regimes. But we're all Africans, after all. That's why I'm very, very enthusiastic about working with Africa. Africa is the future without doubt. Now, our ambassadors, I have a word to you, tell you. Ambassadors, please work hard. Build a network of relationships with the countries that you're in. It's important that you do that. As Alan said, and Alan, you recognize the pictures behind me. They're from Ghana. Remember, I was trying to look for the picture, but we were looking at them in the middle of the street. You remember them, Alan, I'm sure. This is beautiful Africa. I'm here from Spain, from the south of Spain now. I'm having a few days off with my good wife here. But Africa is in my heart. Africa is in the heart of every one of us. So, without any further unnecessary undue talk, I want to congratulate each and every new ambassador. Abigail, you've done a great job. Abigail is one of the first ambassadors I've got to know. She's a good model to follow because she built good relationship with the country that is in Nigeria. And that's important. We should build good relationship with the ministers, with the private sector, with the public sector, with all the people that are there. So if we need anyone, you know who to talk to. That's the role of the ambassadors. Ambassadors are really our messenger. Africa needs no messenger. Africa's narrative is being read today. In COVID time, it's important to remember that Africa has been blessed by being spared. This is a divine thing because I believe that Africa is going to be coming out as winner out of all of this. We need to bring all African countries together because the multilateral system in the world has not succeeded. It has failed us. Look at the European Union. We have 3 different countries in one country insisting on quarantine, the other country is insisting on a passport for vaccine, a third country is okay with 72 hours of testing only, and testing can be upon arrival. United States, each state, each country, each city is working alone. No relationship with Canada, no relationship with Mexico at all. I think Africa can build a different model here by working together, because without working together, we'll never work. Alan talked about vaccination. It will take 5 years for the whole world to be vaccinated. 70% of the world to be vaccinated. And that's very important because without the world being vaccinated, we can't move from one place to another. You can't go to a country that is vaccinated if you're not vaccinated yourself. You cannot go to an unvaccinated country. You cannot receive people from unvaccinated countries. We don't want to turn this into a game of those that have it and those that don't have it. So vaccination is equal question mark here. But I'm telling you, we are up to the future. Governments must come together, work together. They must come, heads of states, heads of government, ministers of tourism, ministers of health, must get together. They must not leave the room before agreeing on some kind of protocol, some kind of agreement on how to go about this within Africa, and then the whole world would follow. Africa can take the lead in this. I'm sure about this. I thank you very much, cousin, for giving me this opportunity. Let me thank Alain Santangelo, who is a great, great man, great friend of ours, and Cuthbert, you're doing a great job. I agree with you. ATB is being reborn, and this rebirth of ATB is worthy of it, worthy of Africa. I'm glad all these people are with us today. Yeah, I see some good names, some familiar faces. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. Thank you, cousin.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful speech. I'm sure so many people have taken a great lesson from that. It's always a delight to listen to you anytime, any day. Thank you so much, sir. And we pray that we see more of you. And moving on, the next person that will be giving us a remark is our very, very important personality as well. You know, he's been very, very instrumental to the development of African Tourism Board in all ramifications. Please join me as I welcome Mr. Jorgen Steinmetz. Mr. Steinmetz, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Kazem, and thank you for everyone to be here. May I start out and also say thank you to the Honorable Moses Vilakati, Minister of Tourism from the Kingdom of Eswatini, who gave us our new home for the African Tourism Board. And of course, I'm very proud to be affiliated with this organization. And of course, I've been here from the very first moment when African Tourism Board was only an idea. It has grown so much further than just an idea. And I'm very, very pleased that we today welcome a team of ambassadors all across Africa. And I think this is so important for this organization to be represented in every corner of Africa with people who are who can come together, find solutions, and lead local initiatives so they become African initiatives and they become global initiatives. And that's, I think, really where I come in with the startups of the World Tourism Network to give this arm between Africa and the globe. We're living in a world that is very much interconnected. We can meet here with people from so many different countries at the same time and talk to each other. So communication has become such an easy task in the world, and it's such an important task. But nothing beats for people to come together, look into each other's eyes and work together. And this is really what African Tourism Board eventually wants to achieve. I would love to see African Tourism Board to be on the table of every organization, important organization and initiatives. That African Tourism Board would reach out to the World Health Organization, to the African Union, to private stakeholders, and get the interest also not only of Africa, but also our entire industry in Africa. Africa is maybe very different from what we see here in the United States, where I am. You have a lot of small enterprises in Africa, and I think we should support small enterprises. We should support minorities, women in travel. And I've seen all of this in the African Tourism Board. Cuthbert Nkubi, our chairman, has been working tirelessly. I can call Cuthbert at 3 in the morning his time and he answers the phone. And these are the type of people I think that bring this organization to the next step. I would be here anytime you need to reach out, and I'd be happy to provide our platform whenever you need it, so we can get more global awareness. I'm very pleased that Kazim is now playing an essential role in communication. What is so important for African Tourism Board, I invite all our media. I know everyone knows I'm involved with eTurbo News. That is my baby, that is my company. And of course we want to be involved, but we want everyone else to be involved. This is not eTurbo News. This is the African Tourism Board. And media partners are important, ambassadors are important. And just maybe one word of caution. To be an ambassador is a responsibility, I feel, very well, very much more than just being a representative in a country. You're our ears and you're our eyes of what is going on in Africa. And you have the capacity of bringing this to the forefront. So Cuthbert and the team of the African Tourism Board can relate local issues that otherwise probably would never be heard on a global scale or on an Africa-wide scale to this platform. And this is really how we can grow together. And I wanted to again thank everyone. I'm very proud to be affiliated with this organization. We've gone a long way from the minute we started. We had our ups and downs, and we are alive during COVID, and we're doing an amazing job during the COVID situation. And we're all going to be together in this, and we're all going to get out of it. And as I said, as also the founder of the World Tourism Network, we're behind it, and African Tourism Board is our major partner. Actually, that's where it's all started. Thank you very much, and thank you, Kazim, for leading this group.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Stemming. It was a beautiful speech there, anytime, any day. And I like those parts that you mentioned, which need more of African media to be part of what African Tourism Board is doing, so that we can be able to push the agenda. Thank you so much, sir. Now, we are now going to listen to our ambassadors. Let me quickly let you know that little things will be changed here in terms of the ordering. As it stands now, I'm going to have the first speaker, who happens to be Ambassador Abigail Olagbaye from Nigeria. We need you to tell us, how has it been, recovering tourism within the country? Ambassador Olagbaye, are you there?
I am. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks for this opportunity. I want to say hello to everyone from across the globe, especially our leaders at African Tourism Board, our president, first of all, Dr. Talib Rifai, respect to be said, and our leaders as well at African Tourism Board, our chairman, our president, our chairman, our chief marketing officer. Greetings to you all, and of course, protocols observed for all our participants across the group. Thank you so much. It's been quite interesting in Nigeria in terms of recovery. We have been, of course, we're widely known of our, the way we sail through difficult circumstances, the indomitable spirit of Africans, of Nigerians, so that has been a driving force. And basically, we've been busy with a lot of public-private partnerships. That a lot of that has been going on. We've been busy connecting tourism, the tourism industry, with our education sector, with the cultural sector. And so we've been doing a lot of inward looking and seeing how we can all the more make the sector more viable. There's been a lot going on in the private sector from so many tour operators, so many new discoveries of new sites. So a lot has been going on. Also interventions from the government, support from the government, a lot of events, a lot of new ideas, new events springing up on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, and so we've been doing a lot of working together and realizing that we need each other, we need more and more of each other. So it's been very interesting. A lot of domestic tourism activities have been going on, whilst the nation is recovering. Of course, like it is everywhere, the tourism industry, aviation, hospitality sector has been, badly impacted by the pandemic. But of course, we're not allowing that to dampen our spirits. So we're rising above the challenges and ensuring we're turning this into opportunities. On a global scale, I want to talk a bit about, some of the areas that we need to look at in terms of global recovery of tourism, where Africa is concerned, of course. I think we need to look at equity, in terms of interventions, in terms of support, in terms of vaccine distribution, we need to look at that very closely. Also, the issue of resilience, it's only through resilience that we can overcome. It's only through resilience that we can win this battle, like all previous speakers have said, that, when we say post-COVID, I always smile, because I know that we need to develop a mindset that whether COVID disappears tomorrow or not, we are going to survive. We're going to survive, and not just survive, we're going to rise above this and make the best of it and turn the challenge into huge opportunities, not just for our industry, but for Africa as a continent. So resilience is very important, and we need to build the spirit, of always being able to search for solutions. Okay, fine. If there's a difficulty in one area, okay, so begin to ask questions. What can we do? And begin to be ingenious. Begin to think about solutions. So we need that resilience, and more of it, because of course you know that COVID-19 started. It started, and then we got how many variants after that? So we don't know what tomorrow holds. That's the truth. So we need to have more and more of this resilient spirit. Thirdly, I want to talk about the issue of communication, transparency. We need to communicate. We need to communicate. We need to continue to communicate. We need to continue to be transparent with information. Because we need on the spot information, updates. We need to communicate with one another. In Africa, countries need to communicate and everything. And also, of course, from our source markets too, there's need for information. We want to know what is the situation on ground. So we need to keep communications lines open. Also, the issue of partnerships and collaboration, because I mentioned that, I can't overemphasize that. Partnerships and collaboration, I'm sure we've all realized that no man is an island. We can't just stay in isolation, we need one another. So we need more of that, in an increasing measure, daily, every time. We just need to reach out to the next person, reach out to that company, reach out to that small business, reach out to even the big business, reach out, just continue to reach out, just be open, and then when you are reached out to, be open enough to, to receive, information and to give information as well, and to partner. Also, I want to talk about social responsibility. I think across the platforms, across the countries, across borders, we all need to take this very seriously. Wearing of our masks, social distancing, washing of hands, and being conscious at events, at gatherings, being conscious that of the situation we're in. so that we can keep the numbers low until we are out of this pandemic. Also, we need to be conscious of sustainability in everything we do. We need to have this consciousness in our mindset, you know, of our footprints when we travel to attractions. We need this sustainability consciousness. And the issue of travel restriction is also a great concern, you know. That's why I said we need to continue to put communications out, you know, because what you had the week before might not be the situation this week. So we need to keep on, you know, being transparent with information, you know. So basically, in closing, I want to a word to tourism boards, to governments, you know, like I said, continue to share data, continue to share information about your country, because you would agree with me that there is pent-up demand. So, you know, many reports already have seen great demand, you know, an economic boom post-COVID, you know. But in the meantime, we need to continue to share data and information. Also, a word to travel and tourism companies, to tour operators. This is the time to increase the value we're offering and delivering to consumers or to tourists or to travelers, you know, because the tourists of today want more value. So the key word is to over-deliver. Actually, you know, one more, we need to look at how to add value to the package, you know, maybe some wellness content, educational content, more of that, more of the educational content, more cultural content, more wellness content, you know, just something new and fresh. You know, we can't keep doing what we were doing before. So we need to over-deliver on value. Also, lastly, also to destinations, you know, we need to, like I said, work on communication and perception of your destination, and also logistics, you know, how is the logistics in terms of being able to access the destination. So on that note, I want to say thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. It's such a pleasure. And I want to also say a big hello to all my colleagues, my co-ambassadors. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much for that speech. It's covered so much, and I'm sure so many people will get to know what is happening in Nigeria, and I can definitely corroborate you that you've really done well, you know, explaining the situation within the country. Thank you so much. And for those of you that are planning to make a trip to Nigeria, you can hear what she said. So start planning. Things are working here as well as every other place. Now, moving forward, let me bring in the next speaker, all the way from Rwanda. I don't know if Mr. Celestine Inganapusi, I'm sorry if I don't get that name well. Mr. Celestine, are you in? It's your turn to have the floor. Is Mr. Celestine there?
Yes, Kazim, thank you.
Okay, Ambassador, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Honorable African Tourism Board President, Honorable African Tourism Board Chairperson, distinguished guests, friends, and comrades. It is an honor, and I'm very humbled for this opportunity of talking about tourism in Africa in the COVID-19 era with theme tourism recovery, a collective affair. According to World Tourism Organization, tourism encompasses the activities of a person traveling and staying in places outside their usual environment for not more than one consecutive year for leisure, business, and other purposes. This definition shows inseparable journey of tourism and social economic development of communities in Africa. It gives the duties and responsibilities to all tourism stakeholders of ATB to think beyond leisure and recreational-based activities and focus on social economic development of destination places of Africa. Among African key stakeholders, African Union would come first, and secondary, regional economic communities such as East African Community, Southern Africa Development Community, Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, Economic Community of Central Africa States, Economic Communities of Western Africa States, Community of Sahel and Sahara States, Intergovernmental Authority on Development, and all of those cannot be separated from ATB tourism programs. Our countries could benefit from ATB's strong vision of making Africa a destination of choice. This vision requires everyone and each of us as African people to enjoy and love our beautiful continent, starting by our countries. Let's have operational African tourism wings and branches in all African regions for supporting regional projects and programs, and let ATB collaborate with African governments, ministries, tourism national stakeholders, and different organizations for socio-economic development and transformation of Africa. Let's have segmented agenda across period of time and help African Union for Agenda 2063. Let's stop investing in, say, developed Western countries and invest in Western, Eastern, Central, Northern, and Southern Africa. Let's love Africa and show that our number one resourceful and capital of our present and the future wealth and health to invest in is Africa. Following are recommendable areas of concentration within and post-COVID pandemic era. Since only 1.1 million of 12 million of African fresh graduates from African school could yearly get jobs in Africa before COVID-19, now it is undeniable that the number of job seekers has significantly increased due to the closing of many businesses across the Africa. Let's take advantage of information technology era for solving some of employment issues. Let's involve in agricultural and manufacturing industries to add value to African resources. Let's develop homegrown solutions within and for Africa by making sure that domestic tourism that involves intra-Africa tourism and where we mobilize, we sensitize people to love our countries and love Africa is recommendable. Let's have community development projects where we have entrepreneurship project, where we solve employability problem, where we go on with creativity for poverty eradication and the anti-poaching policy, national and intra-continental programs and the policies are really recommended. Let's have Africa Africa intracontinental tourism infrastructures that will really make easy travel and investing in Africa, and different policies where ATB, African Tourism Board, is well placed and could work in collaboration with AU, African Union, East African Community, SADC, and other regional organizations for enforcing African Free Trade Area Agreement, one passport, no visa, one current policies implementation, which are really recommended. Let's invest in tourism industry nationally and regionally, and focus on tourism value chain when and also having concentration on manufacturing for continental trade. This is really recommended. Thank you for everything. Thank you for hearing and keeping attention to me. May God bless Africa. May God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, our Ambassador Salensen from Rwanda. That was a wonderful speech. Thank you so much. I know so many people really joined us, but let me quickly recognize the presence of our Honorable Minister of Tourism, Kingdom of Eswatini, in the person of Honorable Moses Vilakasi. Honorable, you're highly welcome, sir. You are highly recognized. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate your presence. Now, moving on, let me bring in the next speaker from the diaspora. I'm sure she's in. If Ambassador Michelina Sanchez, if you're around, it's your time to have the floor. Let's hear from you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Sure, we can hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Thank you to give me this opportunity, and I would like to thank you all the honorable colleagues that are here, and most of the people that I saw on this screen knows me. Nice to see you. I can see a friend from Ethiopia, a tour operator which I'm working with, Caroline, and few other people. Anyway, I start talking about COVID, not because everybody talks, but because it's very important. In Italy now we have a green pass. A green pass is a sort of a passport, like you have on the phone, and whenever you travel, you have to show. That's for Europe. So the best thing, I don't know if other country knows about this, excuse me, this issue. So we have, even though we are vaccinated, we must have the green pass for Europe. It is sort of, we have on the phone, like you have on the phone, like a queue, and then you scan it whenever you go, even the restaurant. It's
your microphone is not working, Michelina.
She's muted. Okay, she's not muted, but
no, it's her microphone is off. It's not
Michelina.
It's not working. You got to plug this in the
Michelina,
computer.
your microphone. Okay.
Maybe we can move on because
Michelina, your microphone. Yes, she doesn't. Your microphone. Oh,
it's
she
not,
doesn't realize
it's not
that. I'm trying to communicate with her. Let me send a message to her.
I don't know if you see this, Kazim, if I can jump in there for just a second. I wanted to, that we can recognize His Excellency Moses Vilakati, Minister from Eswatini, who I mentioned before. He's actually present, so you're aware of it. So I wanted to, of course, welcome him from my end too, so you know Kazim.
Okay, definitely. I think I welcomed him already.
It's a pleasure to be here, Johan, and I'm following the discussions slavishly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir. You're welcome, sir. Maybe because she's not aware that we can hear her. Probably, maybe we can just, okay, is she aware? Michelina, we can hear you.
No, your microphone is, her microphone is broken. It's broken. It's not working. She has to get a different microphone. It's not the mute. She's not muted. It's just her microphone. It's not functioning.
Okay. Probably, let's move on to the next speaker. So we'll be listening to the next speaker from a French-speaking country. As a matter of fact, I don't know how this can still work out, Mr. Statement. I have someone who can do a kind of translation for us here. He speaks French and English, because the next speaker, I know he wants to speak English, but if we can bring the guy in so that he can be able to translate for us. I don't know how that can be possible. Is it possible, Mr. Statement?
Yes, of course. Just have him join us, and then we can put him both of them on the spotlight, so you can translate. Not a problem.
Okay, present? Wonderful. Wonderful. He's here. Mr. Osman Balogun, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly. Osman? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Great.
Okay.
Great. Okay. The next person that is going to speak, he speaks English, but if Ambassador Dean, if you're there, I have someone that can help us to interpret whatever you want to say. Probably you can speak in French, and that's why he's here. So if you're okay. Mr. Osman, Mr. Balogun, is there anything that you want? Are you okay with what the situation now?
Well, it would have been better if I was set up as an interpreter with the Zoom features. But right now, what I can do is that I can provide consecutive interpretation. It means that he will have to speak maybe for 1 or 2 minutes, or maybe one sentence at a time, and I translate automatically in English. But if I was set up as interpreter, I could have provided simultaneous interpretation. It means that he's speaking and you are hearing the translation in English. He's speaking French and he doesn't have to stop. Yes. So, but right now, what I can do is we can do it sentence by sentence. He just say one sentence and I translate into English if it's suitable for you.
Okay, actually, Mr. Dean can speak English, but if it's comfortable, Mr. Ambassador Dean, if you're comfortable to speak English with us, you're free. If you're comfortable to speak French, you're free. So let's go. Let's have you on the floor. You're welcome, Ambassador Dean from Benin Republic. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, everybody. Are you listening to me?
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. My name is Dean Boaima. I come from Benin. I'm a CEO of Benin Royal Hotel. And also I'm a president of Consortium Tourist by Million, is the association in Benin. I'm very happy to be here, and thank you for ETB who nominate me ambassador. I'm sure I can do my best to help to develop African tourism. Today, we want to talk about how to make good again our tourism in Africa after COVID. You know, for me, it's not it's difficult, but it's not also very difficult. For me, our organization and all of us need to try to how to make vaccination in okay, because no vaccination, no tourism. Is all this one not to be very clear for everybody. And now how to make our population go to vaccination. That is a big challenge. It's a big, very big, it's very difficult because in Africa, nobody don't want to take vaccination. Now, how ATB can work to help to go take vaccination. After that, if vaccination is a starter or is okay, you need now to think how to develop the tourism after the COVID. For me, everybody need to forget whole tourism. Now the whole tourism is finished completely, and we are needed to think about new tourism. For me, the new tourism is number one. How to I don't know how I test this one in English. Maybe I talk to French. My French can help me.
Yes, go ahead. Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Ce que je voudrais dire, c'est très
I would like to
simple.
say that it's very simple. Quite simple what I want to say.
La crise actuelle, c'est une crise existentielle.
The current crisis is an existential crisis, in
Et
fact.
nous devons travailler à changer.
And we need to work to overcome this situation.
Premièrement, il faudra absolument
First of all, we need
l'activité
to
classique d'avant.
make sure that our traditional, our mainstream activities
La partie qui était considérée comme connaisse, on doit tout faire pour que cette partie connaisse devienne également activité principale.
the side aspect of the activities that we use to carry it out, and we need to make sure that it is mainstream into the main area.
Le tourisme que je vais qualifier de classique, on doit tout faire pour le digitaliser.
I'm talking about traditional or mainstream tourism. We need to embed that digitalization aspect.
Et nous devons également travailler avec les chercheurs, les universités et les startups pour créer des innovations qui vont nous permettre de créer un nouveau tourisme.
We should also work with researchers, startup, members of the academia, in order to make sure that we come along with new innovations to improve the tourism sector.
Je dis cela parce que dans mon pays, le Bénin, maybe I try to continue in English. In our country, in Benin, our country is in West Africa. Is only 12 million country population, and is near Nigeria, who is a very big country. our new government he tried to do something. He tried to put the tourism in development chapter. Now, no, I don't know. I don't explain well. Our government now, notre gouvernement actuel, il a choisi.
The current government, the incumbent one.
Il a choisi le tourisme comme étant un pôle, le deuxième pôle le plus important du développement du Bénin.
Has made tourism as the second most important priority in development of Benin.
Et le gouvernement, depuis 2016, est en train d'investir plus de 3 500 000 dollars. 3 500 000, disons 2 000 milliards de francs CFA.
And since 2016, the government has embarked on a journey on investing more than $3 million and 5,000 US dollars.
Donc nous autres, en tant qu'acteurs, nous devons changer notre façon de faire et travailler avec beaucoup plus de solidarité.
As main stakeholders of this sector, we need to strive to work together and collaborate in order to change the paradigm in the sector.
Parce que ce que nous devons comprendre, si nous attendons que le tourisme, comme il était avant, que les touristes viennent en dehors de l'Afrique, ce n'est pas évident qu'ils viennent.
We need to bear in mind that it is not obvious to still have foreigners coming up from abroad in visit Africa. So we need to invest on more locally.
Donc, comment nous allons faire pour faire du tourisme entre nous?
How do we make sure that we promote regional or domestic tourism?
Que celui qui est en Afrique australe puisse visiter l'Afrique de l'Ouest et vice-versa.
We must make sure that our fellow countrymen from West Africa are able to visit East Africa, vice versa.
Et nous, en tant que ATB, nous devons mettre en place un organisme qui va pouvoir régler ce facteur-là de façon concrète. Si nous mettons à faire toujours des discours, ce n'est pas évident qu'on arrive à trouver des solutions concrètes. On doit pouvoir s'asseoir à travers peut-être, on doit pouvoir créer un groupe de travail qui va réfléchir à ce que le tourisme intra-africain devienne une réalité. Si nous avons déjà le tourisme intra-africain, c'est évident que nous allons pouvoir quand même régler un tant soit peu notre problème. De sorte que même si le Covid partait et que les touristes qui sont de l'autre côté venaient, on va pouvoir avoir deux entrées maintenant. On va avoir une entrée qui va venir du tourisme intra-africain et une autre entrée qui viendra du tourisme extérieur.
Okay. So as members of this board, ATB, we need to set up or put in place a mechanism or a body which will be able to tackle this issue. And so that we need to promote regional and domestic tourism in Africa, so that whenever, even after in the aftermath of this COVID-19, even if we still have people coming from outside, we will still have two streams of income, the local one and the external one. Thank you.
ATB peut prendre le leadership et négocier avec l'une des compagnies aériennes qui est déjà sur place pour pouvoir nous aider à organiser cela.
ATB can lead in this way by partnering with an airline in order to move forward this agenda.
Et nous devons travailler à pousser tous les gouvernements africains à faire du tourisme le secteur le plus important. Avec le tourisme, on est sûr qu'on crée de la valeur ajoutée et cette valeur ajoutée reste en Afrique. Elle ne va pas ailleurs. Les matières premières africaines, actuellement, lorsque elles sont vendues sur le marché international, la valeur ajoutée va dans les autres continents. Mais avec le tourisme, nous avons la chance que ce sont les autres qui viennent dépenser de l'argent chez nous.
Okay, we must also make sure that our governments make tourism a priority sector in Africa, because with raw materials, when we are selling our raw materials, the value added goes to other countries. Whereas with tourism, we can retain the value added locally because people come in our countries and they spend their money on the spot. Thank you.
Donc, je voudrais m'en arrêter là aujourd'hui. Et je pense que ensemble, nous allons pouvoir faire de bonnes choses. On va pouvoir travailler pour faire évoluer le tourisme africain.
Thank you very much for your kind attention. This is a nutshell what I had to say. I think we can work together to promote tourism in Africa. Thank you.
Wow, that was a great speech from our ambassador in Benin Republic. It was a great one, and I really appreciate your presence. And thank you, Mr. Osman Balogun. I can see you in Nairobi. Thank you for the great work. I'm sure in the next edition we will work out how you can do a simultaneous translation. Thank you so much. And
you're welcome.
Thank you. So moving forward, we are about rounding up, and I'm going to call on the last speaker for the day. She is Ambassador Linda Fernando from Mozambique. If you are in the house, you have the floor. Let's hear from you, Ambassador Linda Fernando.
Boa noite, all the way from Mozambique. My gratitude for having me today. I'm very humbled to be here among you. As the world is facing an unprecedented emergence with the COVID-19 pandemic, travel and tourism is among the most affected sectors. But as a country, Mozambique faces other challenges, such as the insurgency in the north of the country. Tourism in Mozambique is priority. Mozambique has chosen tourism as one of the four economic priorities. You know, Mozambique is a pristine, it's a beautiful white beaches and some of the world's diverse and flora and fauna. But unfortunately, there is a lot of negativity in the media today about Mozambique, a situation that is repeated in many other African countries. And it's our responsibility as a country to clear the and ensure that Mozambique is seen for its fantastic resources. When we stop and think about Mozambique, the Mozambique we want and how we want to be seen as a country, we can't stop thinking about that Mozambicans are the first ambassadors of the country. So they should know Mozambique. They should know their stories. We should know as a Mozambican what we have in the country as resources. When we and here communication plays an important role. We need to tell our stories as a country, as a continent, and define how we want to be seen in the region, in the continent, and in the world. And here, ATB plays an important role because we feel that it's time to build brand awareness, not only for Mozambique, of course, for the whole continent. Currently, I'm traveling. I'm in the north side of Mozambique. I'm traveling, telling those stories, and somehow I feel that the world should see what I'm seeing, because there's nothing to do with the media is telling about Mozambique. Mozambique is not only Cabo Delgado, where these insurgencies is happening. Mozambique is a lot more, and we are now trying to tell those stories. We are traveling province by provinces to ensure that we bring stories as Mozambicans, because most of the time, unfortunately, we felt that with the COVID, that when we make a research, for instance, about Mozambique, the stories that we will find online on the internet, they are not written by Mozambicans. They are written by other countries. So we felt that it's time for us as a country to start writing our own stories. So we took this challenge to travel countrywide and tell the stories as a Mozambicans, because no one else will tell our stories in the way we would. So we can't give this responsibility to other people. It's our responsibility, it's our story, and we should tell in the way that the future generations will find and continue in the way that we feel to them. I mean, we'll have the perspective that we have today about our country, because the other people, they have the perspectives they want to have about our countries, but this perspective is ours, and we are taking the responsibility and this opportunity that COVID is giving us to tell the stories. With COVID, we had to reinvent ourselves. There's no more trips to Europe. There's no more trips to America. We only have ourselves. And I think that is a chance for us to let the Mozambicans know about the beauty we can find everywhere in the country, and hopefully soon you also be able to see what I'm seeing and listening the stories that I'm listening countrywide. And this is not different, I believe, in other African countries. Might be the same situation. As a continent, we need to come together and tell our stories. We are now assisting the after process, and we can't stop thinking that we are talking about after as only as a business process, but who makes business are people. And in order for us to make business, we need to build trust. In order to build trust, we need to get to know each other as African countries. So the borders will only open if we know and trust each other as a country. And there's no other way to do that if we don't tell our stories. And that is a role that ATB should take as a challenge, and build brand awareness, rebrand Africa through its narrative, because we are very rich in terms of stories. We are one of the biggest markets in the world, and I think that we should take advantage of that as ATB. And as a Mozambique, we are ready. We are now waiting to find out if we will partner with Eswatini to hold the first ever African continental cultural, so we get to know a little bit more about each other. Mozambique is one of the few Portuguese-speaking countries in the continent, but that doesn't stop us from being part of this process, this challenging process that Africa is living now. We want to be part, speaking Portuguese, speaking French, speaking English. We are part of this process, and we want to be part of this process through our stories, through our narratives, and we want to be seen as a Mozambican with more, not only as a country that is related to debts and insurgency. No, we want to be seen as this beautiful country full of resources, ready to be shared, not only with the continent, but with the world. So thank you a lot for having me today, and I hope I could make myself more understandable, but my Portuguese doesn't allow me. Thank you so much for having me tonight.
All right. Well, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for coming. Thank you for that speech. It was a beautiful speech. As a matter of fact, you spoke well, and we all got you. Okay, Mr. Chairman, you want to say something? Okay.
Well, thank you so much, leadership. Much appreciated. And may I take this time to really introduce our Minister, Honorable Minister Vilakati from Eswatini, who has been very instrumental. He's actually instrumental in the development and driving the tourism agenda within our region, and very instrumental, by the way, in hosting African Tourism Board in the Kingdom of Eswatini, where our head office has actually found a beautiful home in the mountainous kingdom. He is our patron and advisor of the African Tourism Board. And Eswatini was the first member state in Africa to join and be affiliated to our organization 3 years ago. And as Ambassador Linda has actually indicated, that there is a closer collaboration that is being done on the ground between the government of Eswatini and also the government of Mozambique and the African Tourism Board in driving the agenda of getting more than 27 member states under the African sky roof. So those discussions, President Alain, they are in progress. We really appreciate the efforts and the drive of our Honorable Minister, and maybe we can give him an opportunity to say one or two words and actually welcoming us in these conventions. Thank you so much.
Mr. Cuthbert, I'm so sorry. I don't think I think he left or he had internet issue. He's no longer in the audience right now. So maybe we can monitor in case he comes back.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman, sir. Thank you for that. We really appreciate what the kingdom has been doing, and I'm sure people will get to know more about what is going to happen there. You know, it's a big thing that is going to happen to Africa. So I had even wanted him to, because we've exhausted all the discussions so far, but we want to now go to the closing remark. I wanted our Honorable Minister to give us a closing remark, but having said that he's no longer here, then I have to get back to the original person, the person of our chairman, Mr. Nkube. Please give us a closing remark before we do the vote of thanks. Ambassador Fernando, please be on the standby to give us the vote of thanks. So, Mr. Chairman, sir, the closing remark.
Thank you so much, leadership. It's well and said. Now is the time for us to get things moving. Thank you so much. I concur with Linda that Africa, it's like a pregnant woman who's waiting to deliver. So it's my honor, it's our responsibility to join hands together and enjoy what we have in Africa. We have so much to offer. Our domestic travel, as Honorable Deme has indicated from all the way from Benin, that we have so much to offer. We need to indulge ourselves. We need to enjoy. It will start with domestic. I'm actually surprised that South Africa is one of the countries that has been red-taped by Europe. And then we need to start now within the domestic sector, within the regional segment, and within the continental, so that we can start inter-travel, we can start inter-investment. Let us invest. There are so many opportunities to be indulged. Thank you so much once again, Honorable Carlo, for bringing us together. And we are looking forward to have these discussions almost on a regular basis, so that we are able to encourage one another, so that we are able to identify areas we need to come together and see how best we can assist in development. Like I indicated to you that most probably by next year, 2022 in September, we are looking at collaborating with 2 governments to host the first ever inaugural event, cultural event that will bring all our diversity together and enjoy the beaches of Mozambique. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Well, Cuthbert, I think we lost our host. Yeah.
I think you can take over here again.
Thank you. I think we were through from what I understand, but is there, and I'm so sorry, I wasn't prepared to do anything here, but is there an ambassador who's present and has not said anything, who would like to have the microphone? If there is, just unmute yourself and we can see it.
Okay. I think we have Ambassador Fadima Tou to give us the vote of thanks. I'm not sure whether she's.
Yeah, Fatima Tou is here. So yes. Okay. So let me
yes.
add the spotlight. Okay. There we go.
Yeah, greetings to everyone, and my apology because I got stuck into traffic. I was actually in a conference in promoting women in tourism and aviation in Cameroon, and unfortunately, it took a longer time than before. But I was able to follow up all the different discussions, and I must commend each and every one who has been doing a lot of effort in promoting the African tourism. I originally come from the aviation sector, and we take into strong consideration the fact that we have to go into the new language of talking about aviation and tourism. I commend each and everyone for your efforts in your respective countries and the initiative of African Tourism Board to build this strong bond within African countries through our own support to ensure that ATB stands right there to bring the new light that we want to see out of this COVID. I thank each and everyone who has contributed to the success of this event today. And on behalf of Cameroon as a whole country, we are working on to welcoming each and everyone in January during the African Cup of Nations that will be hosted after 50 years. Promoting business and aviation tourism is also a way that will help our industry to become sustainable. I thank again everyone for the efforts we are doing. Let's share best practices and ensure that Africa grows further and higher with ATB. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. I think we lost our host. And
you can do it, Jürgen.
Okay, all right. I didn't really. Okay, fine. But anyways, I think we had a wonderful event where everyone who wanted to speak had something to say. So maybe we can open up the floor for just a few minutes if there's any other comments by anyone. Even if you're not an ambassador, you're part of our organization. What you can do is raise your hand. There on the bottom part of your screen, there is a hand you can just click on, and we will see this here. If you don't find the hand, just unmute yourself and just start speaking. And if there's no one, I think we can come to a close.
Hi, Jürgen. It's Birgit here from Germany.
Hi, Birgit.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you fine.
Wonderful. Hi, Cuthbert. Nice to see you again. You're looking well. And also, hello, if I may say so. I'm delighted to be present here today. What I find very encouraging is really the thoughts of something that's close to my heart, and I believe very strongly in. It's a promotion of domestic tourism, which has always been underrated previous to COVID. And yet this is the highest actually part of tourism in many ways. In every region, and specifically when we talk about Africa, and I'm now based in Europe and Germany back again after being in Australia, it's very apparent that the domestic or regional tourism is a major driver of tourism. So the development of that and the focus on that, and as was pointed out, to look at what we can deliver within that domain and how we can differentiate ourselves within that region, but also internationally. Now with new emphasis of what tourist demand, I think it's an important focus, and I'm delighted to see all that happening and coming from all different perspectives. So yeah, just thank you very much for my presence here, and I'm looking forward to the next meeting, if I may say so. That's basically all I wanted to say. Thank you.
And I think we have Kazim back. I think he arrived back. So
yes, I'm back. Sorry about that. It's all about this network thing. Thank you, Honorable Chairman. Like I said, we should be having the vote of thanks. But before I do that, let me inform you that the next edition of these events ATB Ambassadors Dialogue will come up on the 25th of September next month. And we are going to have a kind of combined event. You know, we'll be celebrating the World Tourism Day on the 27th. But on that day, 25th, we'll be having our own event and we'll be discussing the World Tourism Day. So please keep the dates and join us. We're going to have a fresh ambassadors. As you can see, you know, they told us what we need to know about their various destinations. So I'm sure you enjoy every bit of it. So you need to join us again on the 25th as we bring fresh ambassadors from across Africa and from across the globe so that we can have this robust discussion. So let me invite Ambassador Ferdimatu Nkemo to give us the closing the vote of thanks.
That was done already when you were off. Hello?
Yes, she already spoke. You didn't hear that because you were gone. And I think he's...
Hello?
I think we lost him again. And yes, and we heard you, Ambassador, from Cameroon. And thank you so much. But I think we lost our host, but it doesn't, it's fine. Kazim, can you hear me?
I think we lost him again.
I think we lost him, but anyways, there was no one raising any hands, and
there was one more. Hello. I didn't see the hand on my screen. Carolyn Anderson from Atlanta, Georgia, in the United States. I just wanted to let everyone know that I will be in East Africa. I'm going to first Tanzania next month for the Tourism Summit. And then I'm going on to Kenya, Uganda, and ending up in Ethiopia. But what I am doing is I'm selling Africa to the affluent African American market. I see Solomon was there. Solomon Herbert, who is the publisher of the Black Meeting in Tourism. I saw him in the crowd. But I don't know if anyone knows about the spending power of the African American market is over $1 billion in terms of consumerism, higher than Mexico, the whole entire country of Mexico. And no one reaches out to us, no one. And when we know about a certain item, car, because we're consumer driven, top shelf, and we will spend the money. I came into this business over 20 years ago. Jamaica, the Jamaica Tourist Board and Air Jamaica was my very first client, and for the same reason. And I have to apologize, I have a little tingle in my throat, but they had actually did research and spent, I don't know how much money on the buying power of Black Americans. And they found at that time that the African Americans was, if they were a country, they would have been number 3 next to Australia and Canada as far as spending, okay? They flew me over there, we did a whirlwind. We started marketing and promoting to the African American, not just African American, don't misunderstand. But a lot of the marketing materials included them because we were excluded. And I feel it's the same thing. I've been selling Africa now since 2008. Tanzania was my very first African country, and I fell in love with it, all of that. I brought many people, but it's just not enough. I need help. I need help. One of the things I'm going to do is talk about, can you see this? East Africa Roadshow. I know that you do road shows and you're probably tired of it, but you don't market or include the African American market. $1.7 billion, people, that you're missing. A lot of African Americans don't know anything about Africa. I've had people say to me, well, I don't want to go to Africa. This adult man, about 52 years old, said, because suppose I go to Africa and I'm walking down the street and a lion come and bite me. And I said, first of all, if you see a lion, he's not going to just bite you, he's going to eat you. But they don't understand that the wildlife is on game reserves. Another gentleman said to me, well, you know, if we're driving on a safari, can we get out of the car and feed the elephant peanuts? That's in a zoo. And trust me, you don't want to get out of the car for an elephant or anything else. And these are just two examples, but I hear it all the time. I travel the world, I sell the world. I was raised overseas in Central America. You'd be surprised.
Caroline, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you, we have a few people raising hand.
Oh,
and,
okay.
Just
Caroline, but anyway, yeah, Caroline, you see, I'm passionate about Africa.
No, you are. And I can tell you, African Tourism Board was started to reach out to the American market. But you know, guess what? We have COVID, and we're going to get back to the American market. And I think we would love to work with you. So
they're traveling. We're traveling. We're traveling. That's all I can tell you. In Paris and every place else.
Really, I know, but it's not really the right time yet, I think. But I think we should discuss, and you as a member, we can involve other members and try to open up this market even more. There's a lot of interest, and we actually have a lot of members, travel agents in North America that are actually members. So it's good. We have a good club here. But anyways, I don't know if Kazim is back. We have two people raising hand. One is Kazim Zanussi. Kazim, the floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. I must say I'm happy to be here. And every day, I'm passionate about tourism. First, I'm a systems and cities expert, but not initially tourism. But tourism has always been a thing of passion for me. And it's one of those things that I feel that if we get it right, it would really change the African story. One, I doubt if there is any locality in Africa that does not have something to show, that does not have a story to tell. So how come we haven't managed to unlock even local tourism, even localized tourism within our communities, within our cities, within our countries, within our regions, West Africa, East Africa, and then within Africa? Africans don't know as much about Africa as they know about other countries. Most Africans will tell you about what is happening in Europe, in the Americas, the tourism attractions, tourist attractions, but they can't tell you much about what happens even in their own country. I see it from a different perspective. I see it as an opportunity. I see it as an opportunity to correct, to build, not just because we need to treat it as, this is something that we need to first deconstruct and then build. And only then can we have a sustainable African tourism story. I've been interacting a bit with Mr. Cuthbert and Abigail and all. And so I feel that there is a lot already beginning to happen, but we need to apply the multi-sectoral perspective so that everyone brings to the table what how the hoteliers feel that they can contribute, how the airlines feel they can contribute. So it's got to be a story that is jointly written by Africa, for Africa. You know, like I said in response to Mr. Alain's story, until the lions begin to write, the stories would always favor the hunter. You know, so Africa needs to begin to rewrite. We need to rewrite our story, and we need to begin to get people throw open the strategy sessions or strategy boards and let people begin to really punch in data, punching ideas, and have maybe a central collation team that begins to pull all of this together and make a sense of it. So more like we need to brainstorm the tourism environment in Africa. That's the bit I have to say. And some of us are available. We're passionate. We'll be happy to contribute our quota. Africa has the numbers. We have the population. We can really, all the money that goes outside Africa can begin to start within our localities, within our regions, within our continent. So please, let's see how we can lock that down. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Kazem. And since you said this, why don't you take this initiative? You know, already Cuthbert, and I think it would be wonderful. Anyone who says something should have a solution, shouldn't just say all these great ideas. We have to implement them, and that's us. You know, we don't have someone magically doing things for us. It's us. So you're in charge. So we have you on tape. But anyways, we got 3 more people here, and then I think we have to come to a close. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and Abigail. Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you. We have, I think we have.
Thank you. Thank you. My namesake.
Oh,
thank you.
Kazem is
we'll
back.
reach out. We'll reach out. Thank you.
Okay,
yes,
Kazem is back. Kazem, so you can take over. We have 3 more faces you see on the screen. These are people who raised their hand, and I think we can probably, you can take, maybe give everyone a minute, and then I guess it's up to you, but I think we are way over our time already.
Yeah. Like you said, let's give them just one minute. So you can call the next person.
Okay, so let me finish this and I give it back to you since I started it so we don't get more confused. But we have Johnny Naya. Johnny, let us know where you're from so we all know where you are.
Hi. Is it unmuted? Yes. Okay. I represent an organization called Society for Accessible Travel and Hospitality. It's from New York, USA. And it was founded by a person who founded the Africa Travel Association in 1975. And 1 year later, he founded the Society for Accessible Travel and Hospitality. So we are a nonprofit organization that works to raise the awareness of the need for services and destinations to provide all the facilities for people with disabilities to travel. So I won't even take the 1 whole minute. I just wanted all of you to keep in mind that this is an segment of travel which is not, it ceased to be a niche travel. It's growing exponentially, and a lot of money is being left on the table because people are not giving enough importance to it. So a study which was started in 2002, in which we were part of showed that just Americans with disabilities spent about $16.2 billion a year on travel. And there are several travel agents in Africa, places like Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa, where they do accessible travel. And we have done a few seminars and workshops. So I just want you all to keep your eyes and antennas open for this segment of travel. That's all that I wanted to say at this time. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Johnny. And maybe it's since African Tourism Board and World Tourism Network, we're so connected. We have a gentleman from Nepal who's leading the WTN group on accessible travel. Maybe that's something Africa could play a role in. Just a loud thinking, and of course that's up to Cuthbert. But Cleopatra, the floor is yours. Where are you from?
Hello, I am Cleopatra from the Republic of Benin.
Welcome.
As excellent President Buhari Madin, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I truly believe that COVID has brought us back to seeing the importance of taking into consideration the people we have around, as tourism has always been a major issue because of the airlines. Traveling in Africa or from Europe to Africa is so complex that it is something that we were neglecting for a long time. And it is time for us to now take into consideration how Africans can get interested back into what is African. As African Tourism Board, it is how do we reinvent, how do we retell the story so that Africans start getting the importance of it. Today we have Africans who have the means, we have Africans who have the interest in getting, going on vacation, getting relaxed, taking their families out and spending quality time. And they had this habit of going all the time to the US, to Europe and everywhere. And today they're suffering because they have the means, but they don't know where to go. So it is really time for us to start helping them and having a close tourism proximity where each and every one can help them to see what is around and where they can come and go and help ourselves to develop Africa while going through the complex issues of having airlines and other people make it easier for us. I believe that is definitely time. And Africa is still a must when it comes to tourism. So how do we integrate digitalization so that we open Africa to the whole world, wherever somebody would be, and we could take this COVID time and help people, give them a taste, show them that Africa, like Caroline was saying, doesn't have lions on the street that's going to, come up and just bobble you up, but it's really a place. I remember a few months ago, I was giving a conference on Benin, and Benin is the Vodou country, and people were saying, but you're talking to us about restaurants, you're showing us lovely pictures, but you're the cradle of Vodou. It's not like we're arrested or everybody is just moving on in a weird dolly period. So it's just sending out the right information. Shall Africans give the right information to people so that people will know the lovely continent and country that we're in? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cleopatra. You take the initiative now. It's a very important point. Vincent Mugabe, I know, Vincent, where you're from, but maybe you can fill everyone else in.
Thank you so much again. And thank you to everyone. Caroline, I'm so excited that you'll be coming to my country, Uganda. For over the last 2 years, I've been trying to link up with American tour agents, specifically African Americans. I've gotten to American Outdoors, LLC, gotten to the Black Travel Alliance. It hasn't been positive. But now that you'll be coming, I look forward to meeting you when you come to Uganda.
Absolutely.
And to East Africa. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Vincent. We have two more people who raised their hand. This is Francis Mugoga. Where are you from, Francis?
Francis Mugoga. I'm from Uganda, and I'm representing Explore Safaris and Tourism Institute of East Africa. Thank you guys for inviting me to join. This is my first time to attend any of the conferences at the ATB, and I'm really excited about this. Two things. One, would like to to see how we can have part of the chapters. I don't know how many chapters we have in the African countries, so that we can even have maybe like a national meetings before we have the continental meeting. And then two, you talked about the guys about the media, taking on the media space in terms of writing what the stories about Africa. But does ATB have different departments which does media engagement, tourism engagement, then also getting in touch with the different governments in those countries where you established? Thank you.
Yeah, and Francis, we have Kazim. He's in charge now of our media relations for African Tourism Board, the gentleman who's just joining us again now from Nigeria, our host. And we have a Friends of the Media. So if you actually go to our website, you click on directory, you move down to media, Friends of the Media. So we encourage anyone who's in the media to join us and write about us. And we can definitely, Kazim can help where we can help. And if there are reports you published, let us know. We can put it on our website because we're collecting all the information on my publication, Itobo News, already since the beginning. But there's a lot more. So anytime African Tourism Board is mentioned, let us know. We also give you the recognition. And for those guys in the media, you know how important it is to get extra viewers. And we help you to get these extra viewers. So it's a win and take situation. We have
Okay. Thank
Max.
you very much. And we look forward to hosting Caroline Anderson when you come to Uganda. Please let's keep in touch, like we said. Thank you.
And don't forget, Uganda has the best pineapples. So,
oh, yeah.
We have Max V. Rasmi. Go ahead, Max. Max, can you hear me? You have to unmute yourself, please. Okay. All right. So we have two more other people raising hand, and then we probably have to come to an end. Max, can you hear us? You're muted. You have to unmute yourself, please. There we go. Okay, go ahead.
Good evening,
Hi,
Mr.
Max.
Chairman and fellow participants. I thank you for giving me this opportunity to say a few words. I really appreciate it.
Where are you from? Let us know. We didn't hear this in the beginning, probably.
Okay. I want to thank the tourism. I think that the tourism world has been turned upside down due to the pandemic. ATB can play a major role in the transformation process of tourism, in bringing operators of the tourism together in meeting the challenges of tomorrow. And also in bringing us together in promoting domestic tourism for starters, which I think is of vital importance to start off with domestic tourism.
Where are you from, Max? Where are you calling from?
Africa is a jewel waiting to be discovered. Thank you.
Max, can you please let us know where you're from? Where you're from?
South Africa.
South Africa.
Good,
Okay.
good.
South Africa. Okay.
Okay. We have, and then we really have to come and give it back to our host. We have Samut wanted to say something.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really delighted to be part of this meeting. My name is Samud Zuhair. I'm a managing director of a consulting firm operating in Tunisia. We're really specialized in tourism, cultural and creative industry, etc. Just I want to say something about, I don't remember who have been talking about rewriting the history of tourism and stuff like this. And we've mentioned that we can do something, and we made something among it with an initiative which is Reconfigura Destino, that was led by the CED, I mean the World Center of Excellence for Destination. We are their local partner, and it's about reconfiguring destinations and about good governance, etc. So we are operating even in Africa, and we are happy to share this initiative with all African tourism board, who are present here, and to share our experience, even to implement this kind of strategy, which can be a clue and solution to develop, to enhance governance for African destination, and even to enhance the local level of development. So thank you again, and happy to, and I will be delighted to help in or another.
Yes, please, please do get in touch with Cuthbert or our team. We love to have you on board. I think I can say that. And the very last person, Tunisia, what a wonderful country. I've been all over the place, from Nefta to Tuzur to Hammamet to Djerba. Tunisia is a great place. So definitely. Francis Mugaba is our last contributor before we give it back to Kazim. Francis, go ahead. You had something else to say. You need to unmute yourself, please.
hello. No, I've already said everything. Sorry, I think my
okay, you raised the hand, so I didn't want to ignore you. Okay, so back to Kazim. He's back on board. So sorry, Kazim. I didn't want to take your show. Sorry about that.
Not at all. As a matter of fact, you really saved the whole thing. I don't know what is happening to the network here, but it's been wonderful, the role that you played. And even though I really want to share the floor with you because we're supposed to be doing this together, but I appreciate the fact that you are to this, and it's great having you play that role, and we'll continue to do that. Well, it's been wonderful having so many people. In fact, I'm elated. Our leadership, Dr. Talib, Honorable Aline, so many people. This is wonderful. And I want to just thank you so much, and imploring you to join us again on the 25th of September. It falls on a Saturday. We will communicate to you. We want to have another edition. We need to continue to talk, to have this discussion. And I can assure you, we won't just talking. We will be taking actions. We have listened and we've noted so many contributions and so many ideas, so many initiatives, so many concerns. And we want to invite all of you, those of you that have not joined ATB. ATB is a moving train. You need to join us. You need to be part of this so that together we can take Africa to the next level. With those initiatives, we are going to assure that we position ourselves well to develop it, because currently domestic tourism is what is in vogue, and we need to patronize the continent, and we need to change the narrative. So it's been great having all our leadership around. It's been great having those of you, the speakers, the guest speakers, the special guests, and those of you that just winged the fact that we are having this show and you joined us. We really appreciate you. God will continue to bless you. And I want to end the event today with a kind of invitation again, that all of you need to join ATB. We need you so that we can drive out this. And take note of whatever you must have picked here. It's important. And these are the things that we will take to the next level so that Africa will be better for it. Thank you so much. I am Kezim Balogun on behalf of the African Tourism Board, Executive Board, and entire member. I want to thank you, and I hope that you join us again on the 25th for another edition of ATB Ambassadorial's Dialogue. Thank you, and have a great night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night. And don't forget, it will be archived on the African Tourism Board website in a few hours. And we're also going to have it on livestream.travel. So if you ever want to watch this again, and it's going to be live on eTobo News, whoever's reading us. I have to say this, it's my publication, but anyways, yes. You guys have a great day. Aloha. And
thank you so much. Good weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Kazim. Thank you, Kazim.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
We appreciate your work.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Good night.